Xiaomi breaks the ground of the budget smartphone arena every time they release a new phone. And this time they did it again, and after creating a mini hype on the budget smartphone arena, they have released the Xiaomi Mi A1 a few months ago, which holds a superior build quality and design and hardware from Xiaomi with a pure stock vanilla Android from Google, which is also known as the Android One. Hey, what's up guys, Xiaomi here with an in-depth review of the ultimate budget killer Xiaomi Mi A1. So without any further ado, let's jump in. Xiaomi A1 is very popular for a superior quality in a very affordable budget, and Xiaomi Mi A1 is no different from it. The Mi A1 has a spectacular build quality to be honest, and I was pretty much impressed with its design and quality after holding the phone. And looking through the phone, A1 has a matte finish metal body and it feels pretty premium to me. And I think this Mi A1 has the most premium and royal feel build quality than any other budget Xiaomi smartphones. While looking through the back, there is some branding and logos on the downside, a fingerprint scanner on the upper middle and a dual camera on the upper left side. The dual tone LED flash sits right behind the camera lens. The antennas are pretty much hidden like the iPhone 7, and by looking at the rear side, it kinda looks like an OnePlus Fiber iPhone 7. Moving on the front side, there is a 5.5-inch Full HD display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080 with a pixel density of 403 ppi. The display is quite sharp, the color production and touch response, everything is all over top notch without any doubt. And the display is also protected with Corning Gorilla Glass 3, which keeps you a bit safe from breaking the glass. But it's quite impossible to operate this phone in one hand because of its huge screen size. While moving towards the upper portion, there are earpiece, front camera and proximity at night sensor standing all together in one line. The phone also has touch capacity buttons on the lower portion which lights up. The volume rockers and the power buttons are situated on the left side and the SIM card tray is on the right side. In the lower portion there are USB Type-C port, microphone and speaker grill nicely placed one by one. And there is IR blaster on the upper side of the phone which is pretty accurate. Now let's move to the specs. Xiaomi Mi A1 is rocking with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 625 octa-core CPU paired with a 4GB of RAM and Adreno 506 GPU. The Snapdragon 625 might seem a bit outdated in 2017, but with a half of 4GB of RAM, the Xiaomi Mi A1 handles everything surprisingly fast. And hopefully, you will be more than satisfied with the RAM management of Xiaomi Mi A1. And this phone has more than enough to handle your light and heavy day-to-day tasks like gaming, multitasking, etc. And personally, I don't have any kind of complaint regarding its fluidity and response in application and games. While rolling over the benchmarks, Xiaomi Mi A1 scored 864 in single core and 455 in multi-core in Geekbench 4. But unfortunately, I didn't have the chance to bring out this score from the Antutu benchmark, but it scored pretty well from its price. Though don't justify a phone based on its benchmark scores, because it's not always worthy. Moving on to software, Xiaomi Mi A1 comes with vanilla Android from Google, which is known as the Android One. Xiaomi Mi A1 running Android 7.1.2 Nougat, and it will receive all the further software updates with the Nexus devices including Oreo and so on. And the fingerprint scanner is surprisingly fast. It just requires a single tap and you're in home screen. Now let's move on to the most special part of the smartphone, the camera. The Xiaomi A1 is featured with a dual camera like the Xiaomi Mi 6. And Xiaomi actually claims that they have used the same camera from the Xiaomi Mi 6. But however, there are a bit difference in the sensors. The primary camera is a 12 megapixel with an aperture of f2.2. And moving to a telephoto lens, there is also a 12 megapixel lens, but this one's infos are pretty much unknown. Using the telephoto lens, you can do up to twice of the optical zoom. And the camera has portrait mode, by which you can take the DSLR-like shots with this awesome bokeh effect. The camera is pretty decent in the daylight shots. The color production and details are pretty much satisfactory. But in the low light shots, the camera becomes a bit confused, I guess. But it's not an earth-shattering stuff, to be honest. And it's pretty normal in this $200 budget. Now let's have a look at the images shot from the Mi A1. Enjoy guys! Well, moving on the video section of this camera, the camera can shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second, and it can also take the other stuffs like the time lapse and slow-mo shots. But it doesn't actually contain any EIS or OIS features, which is a bad side of this camera. Moving on the front camera, it has a 5 megapixel shooter which can take up to 720p videos at 30 frames per second. And in the terms of selfies, it's not also any special thing, to be honest. Xiaomi Mi A1 is absolutely a budget-friendly device from every point. It has features which are pretty neat to have a nice viewing experience. Smoother metal body, premium build quality, everything you need is present there. And personally, I don't have any kind of grumble regarding its hardware except the camera and chipset. The phone is huge for handling in one hand. The chipset is a bit outdated, but it's not that bad. These are the only bad sides I've found except the camera. After this, everything is all work perfect to make it the bang for the buck device. So guys, this was a review of the Xiaomi Mi A1. Smash that like button if you have liked this video, and if you have any questions, just drop it in the comment box. I will try my best to solve them. And the last but not the not least, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Peace guys.